And many thanks to our witnesses. Thank you most especially for your service to our country. Please know how very grateful we all are. I want to pick up where my colleague, Mr. Kelly, left off on munitions. I have a few questions for Secretary Austin and General Milley, and then if there's time, I'd like to ask a question about my home military installation of Fort Bliss. I'm relieved to see a targeted investment of $30.6 billion in our munitions enterprise, but I remain deeply concerned about our ability to rapidly backfill current shortages and then shore up capacity to meet our own readiness requirements. So, Secretary Austin, General Milley, can you please speak to the following? First, the industry incentives provided by multi-year procurement authorities. Second, what supporting industrial base requirements are necessary to shore up the workforce? And third, what innovative technologies such as additive manufacturing are you looking at to integrate to maximize cost savings and speed of munitions production?
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for your support throughout. Let me just say, up top that as we provide security assistance to Ukraine, the chairman and I go through a weekly routine of looking at the requests, making sure that we have the right things to provide to Ukraine that are going to be relevant to this fight. And I think we've seen that Ukrainians have been provided the right things, and they're putting the things that we're providing to good use. We also are very mindful of our requirements, and there are certain requirements that certain capabilities that we know that we have to maintain to support our warfighting plans, and so that is an ongoing process, and I can assure you that that is foremost in our minds. In terms of providing incentives to industry or the industrial base, what you've done to support our multi-year contracting authority request last year was very, very helpful. What we're going to ask you again for in this budget is the same thing. We would want more of that so that we can signal to industry that the demand's going to be there. But the other strong signal, as you've heard me say before, is the amount that we've allocated to procurement. $170 billion is probably the biggest procurement budget that we've seen. You add that to $145 billion that we're asking for RDT&E, and I think it is a strong signal that we are going to need a lot from industry going forward. Now, we continue to reach out to the captains of industry to make sure that we're doing everything we can to help them help us. So that's.
I appreciate that. General Milley, maybe you can respond to the question about innovative technologies such as additive manufacturing and how much you are leaning in on that front.
So thanks. I've mentioned several times before about what I think is a change in the character of warfare. And there's a whole set of technologies. Additive manufacturing is one of them. We mentioned artificial intelligence. We mentioned robotics, precision munitions, the ability to sense at distances that have never been before done in human history. All of these things in combination are going to fundamentally change, in my view, the very character of war, probably inside of a decade, for sure inside of 15 years. And every nation, Russia, China, the United States, Britain, every country around the world has access to some of these technologies. And the country that optimizes those technologies for the conduct of war are likely to have decisive advantage, and that country needs to be us. So I would strongly recommend that we execute all those innovative technologies.
I appreciate that. In my closing, you're not going to have time to answer this, but I do want to, as I did last year, just bring to your attention the issues, the needs for barracks at Fort Bliss. The base budget request identified MILCON requests for barracks across several Army installations as quality of life projects, part of the Army's 10-year, $10 billion investment plan, but they did not include Fort Bliss, and so I just want to continue to put that on your radar, that installation and the need for those barracks, please. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.